Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're here, I'm so surprised because I don't know what you're doing here. I don't have original content. I have nothing great here. Why are you here? Today we are going to be doing a Twilight themed video, and this video is semi-inspired by the fact that the Twilight film just had its 10-year anniversary. Like there was just so much content everywhere on Twitter and so many memes, and I loved it so much. Like, Twilight is just like, I can't even describe what Twilight is. I think it's just a force of nature. And since its resurgence into social media, I have decided that what better way to commemorate Twilight as this amazing pathway into YA vampire fiction than to go into my fanfiction account, which I have not touched in about 8 or 9 years, and read to you some of my favorite Twilight fanfictions of all time. I need to acknowledge these amazing fanfiction writers that just saved my life, because, you know, Twilight is the Lord and Saviour of YA fiction. It's the best thing to have ever been written. So let's see what other people have decided to do with Stephenie Meyer's characters, because Stephenie Meyer, not only has she gifted us Twilight, she's also said, "Go forth, my children. Do with it what you will." And this is what they did. Now, let's see what it is I actually used to read on fanfiction, because this is going to be a trying time for everybody. Now, okay, so I've just found the one that was literally like my favorite, because not only was it like 160,000 words and like over 40 chapters long, which meant that, you know, every time I just went into a chapter, it would take me like an hour to read because I was just a slow reader back then. It was like a period piece where they've taken Bella and Edward and turned them into like the son and daughter of like a lord and lady, that kind of thing, and then they're like betrothed to be married, and it's just so Downton Abbey, and I love it so much. Like, this is before I knew about Downton Abbey, obviously. This was way before then, but now that I think about it, it kind of makes sense as to why I love Downton Abbey so much. But yeah, so let me read you the synopsis of this glorious fanfiction called Forever Bound. Edward and Bella are engaged to be married. It is not a marriage of love, it is a betrothal. But can their relationship blossom into love, or are they destined to hate each other? Fuck. It's just so good. So I'm just going to go and find a section of this, because it is over like 160,000 words. I'm going to try and find a section that I remember, like distinctly remember in my head. That made me so like mad at this fanfiction. Oh, okay, I found it. Oh, okay. So this is literally the night after they've gotten married, like they've consummated their marriage, because, you know, that's what you had to do back then. And Bella wakes up and she's just super like doped up and she's just so happy with life. But then like obviously she like rolls over to like touch Edward and be like, "Hi, good morning," kind of thing. And then this is what he does. Oh. After she tries to like wake him up, he says, "However, if I had the choice, last night would not have happened." Bella let out a gasp and tears pooled in her eyes. But Edward continued on, because he's the fucking soldier, isn't he? He says, "I don't want to be married, especially to someone I don't know. Believe me, I understand that this was hard for you too, marrying someone you were not acquainted with. I'm only agreeing to this marriage because my parents believe I will soon need an heir." Because we all have those kinds of troubles, buddy. "So although I do not want this marriage, and deep down I believe you do not want this either, this marriage is needed. Therefore, we will continue to consummate our marriage twice a week until you provide me with an heir. After that, although we will still be married in the eyes of the church and society, each of us may do as we please. Understand?" Edward finished, looking at Bella expectantly, ignoring the redness of her eyes and her ragged breathing. Such a dick. Like, I don't understand. Like, I just remember reading that and being like, wow, what the fuck's just happened? What a glorious piece of fan fiction here. So I think we need to move on and see what else people have done with Stephenie Meyer's characters, because there's a lot that people can do. So the second one we're gonna read is called Teacher Dearest. And I still don't remember why I favorited this one, because I don't remember this one at all. But this is the synopsis that's like written for it. It says, Bella Swan is a kindergarten teacher who everyone adores because everyone loves Bella. But after getting horrible news, she moves to Florida and starts to teach there. In Florida, she meets two small, emerald-eyed children, Emma and Nick, who belong to no other than Edward Cullen. Okay. I think we need to like find something really dramatic, because I think that this one is like one of those like just contemporary AU ones, so alternate universe ones. Oh, this is one of the ones where it's like Bella and Edward's perspectives, so like you switch in between. Oh, love it. Thanks, guys. I need to point out, this chapter is called I'm Edward. What is going on? Okay. Oh, okay. So in this one, Charlie's dead. All right. So from This Is Bella's point of view. The cold wind whipped across my tear-stained face, making me shiver. This was unnatural. Florida was supposed to be sunny and happy. It seems like ever since Charlie had died, all the happiness left with him. I watched through blurry tears as Charlie was lowered into a looming hole in the ground. No, I cried, sobbing harder into Emmett's chest. The viewing was awful as I watched people place things into his coffin and kiss his ice-cold skin and his pale face, no longer to turn different colours when he got angry. I felt like Niagara Falls. I looked up to the sky as the rain started pouring down like perfect teardrops everywhere. Okay. I'm gonna skip the rest of her perspective because I want to get to Edward's. Okay. She looks so sad. Mate, just you wait. When I asked around people who this was, they told me this was Charlie Swan's daughter, Isabella Swan. I watched her cry as she threw flowers into the hole, and watching her do this made me sad too, and it was odd because I had never met this heartbroken girl ever in my life. Daddy, why is she crying? Emma's sweet voice broke into my thoughts. Her emerald eyes, an exact replica of mine, stared at me. Her eyes filled with tears too. I swept her up into my arms and kissed her forehead. Because her daddy's gone, sweetie, I said soothingly. I looked down as I felt someone poking me in the leg. Nick. I swept him up too, so I had one twin on each hip. These kids are like fucking 6. Like, how are you carrying 2 kids? Like, unless... Anyway. But can't she go with him? Nick asked me, his eyes also matching mine. Like, what the fuck? No, champ. Once a person dies, you can't see them again, I told them. Why, Daddy? Why? Emma cried. Her bronze curls shook as she grasped Nick's hand. These kids are literally like clones of him. That's just the way it is. I brushed the hair out of both their eyes. I don't understand how Edward is doing this. Does he have like fucking 5 arms? I don't like the way it is, he frowned. I laughed. Nobody does. Why would you laugh at a funeral, mate? Just a little bit, I don't remember why I liked that. I don't remember why I favorited that. I think I'm kind of done with Edward and Bella. I think that, you know, that OTP is just everywhere. And I think it's time to shed a little bit of light on other pairings. And, you know, a lot of people are very creative when it comes to pairings. Like, and as I'm looking through like the list of characters here, half of these I don't even remember. Like, who the fuck is Alec? Like, who are these people? Like, I don't know who any of these people are. I think it's actually all of the people that came in Breaking Dawn when they had like fucking like 500 vampires pop up into their house. Like, I don't remember who they were. I think, now, bear with me. I think I'm going to put, I'm going to do an Edward and Jacob pairing and see what we get. All right, let's do it. All right, I found one. Oh my God, okay. This one is called Then They Fell in Love. And the first chapter is called It Begins with an Imprinting. Because Jacob imprints on Edward. Oh, no. I'm gonna read the part when he imprints. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay. So, something deep inside Jacob seemed to snap and refasten all at once. His entire body filled with a warm, fuzzy feeling, and something like a breeze seemed to be floating around him, a gentle tinkling sound filling the air around him. The quietest ting 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 sound calming his anger, almost whispering gently to him. And then all of a sudden, the only thing Jacob could see, the only thing he could smell, the only thing he could hear, think of, dream of at this very moment was the vampire, Edward Cullen. The most important person in his life seemed to be Edward fucking Cullen. His entire world, his entire universe, his entire gravity, the only thing holding him down on earth was now Edward Cullen. Edward fucking Cullen was the sole reason for why Jacob was living on this earth. The only reason for wanting to stay alive anymore. The only reason he let his heart continue to beat, let himself continue to breathe. Edward fucking Cullen was the other half of Jacob's soul. His imprint. Fuck! This is Jacob like realizing, fuck! Jacob screamed in his head, feeling dread and confusion and fear grip his entire body. What the fuck have I just done? And I'm here to say, what the fuck is this fanfiction? Oh my god. So the last one I'm going to read, because I think that this also just needs to be like put out there. Because who doesn't love a good like lesbian romance? And this is between Bella and Jessica. And if you are thinking like about Jessica as like Anna Kendrick, like why would you not want to get with that? Like I fucking love Anna. Let's just hit me up, girl. This is from Jessica's perspective, where she likes Bella. And it's just, oh my god. Okay, here we go. When I went to pick Bella up, she came out the door dressed in her normal attire that stated, "I really don't care what you think about my clothes, but I'll dress up just enough so you won't comment on it." It didn't work because I ended up remarking rather idiotically, "Thanks for dressing up for our date. I can see you took time selecting your best outfit." Oh my god, this is too great. My closeted lesbian stayed silent because, you know, our sexuality is like literally another entity. But my heart flipped at my boldness even if I had delivered my words with sarcasm. "Only the best for you. Random band t-shirt and skinny jeans purchased at a secondhand store." "What's the band?" I asked as Bella closed the door to the tiny car my parents only used as backup. "Oh, just some local one my mum drug me to at some point. She's always trying to stay cool and young." We all know what Renee's like, guys. Oh my god, can we like, do they kiss? Because if they kiss, I want that. No, guys, they kiss. I'm just gonna read this because, oh wow, these guys, oh, this is so cute. I love a good female romance, guys. All right. I've just like literally skipped to the last chapter because I've just decided that, you know, this is where we're going. So, you know the school dance at the end of Twilight, the first book? Yeah, so this is where they're at. And so Bella asks Jessica to dance and it's so wholesome. She goes, this is great. This is so good. "I want to dance with you, Jess. I'm not very good, terrible in fact, but I'd really like it if we danced right now. I made sure to enunciate my words so there wasn't any misunderstanding between us." This is also Bella's perspective, by the way, just in case I didn't say that, because I don't think I said that. Okay. The smile on her face made me melt, and when her arms wrapped around my torso, I placed mine on her shoulders. We stayed this way for a while. The moment it happened was fast. Neither of us experienced, but both of us anxious to feel each other's lips. We had pulled away from our dancing when the sound of a student stumbling in the dark had caused us to look in his direction. "Oh, why would you interrupt this?" "Sorry about that," he said to us, his words coming out in a drunken slur. "Don't mind me." We giggled at the idiot, but when our faces turned back to each other, I could feel a change in the air, like something physical was pulling me into Jess. She felt it too, I was sure. And then it happened. Our lips met, and as we moved our mouths in a tender rhythm, I sighed into our kiss. Sadly, it was over much too soon, and we both stood awkwardly in front of each other, blushing violently. Oh! Why couldn't Jessica and Bella get together, guys? Like, so after reading all of this amazing Twilight fan fiction, and you know, I commend all of these people for their amazing writing, because I obviously did not have the guts to write any of this, and you know what? Some people have been published from fan fiction. We all know about E.L. James. We all know about that, which was originally a Twilight fan fiction. It's amazing. I think that to just really bring this video full circle, we need to bring the OG back. Yes, I'm doing this. I'm going to read from the original Twilight. Now, let's find anything that, you know, oh, here we go. Oh my God, yes. All right, so I'm going to read from chapter 13, and this is when Edward has just stepped into the sunlight. This is Stephenie Meyer at her best. Edward in the sunlight was shocking. I couldn't get used to it, though I'd been staring at him all afternoon. His skin, white despite the faint flush from yesterday's hunting trip, literally sparkled like thousands of tiny diamonds were embedded in the surface. He lay perfectly still in the grass, his shirt open over his sculpted incandescent chest. Oh my God, okay. His glistening pale lavender lids were shut, though of course he didn't sleep. A perfect statue carved into some unknown stone, smooth like marble, glittering like crystal. Now and then his lips would move, so fast it looked like they were trembling. But when I asked, he told me he was singing to himself. It was too low for me to hear. Yeah, because Bella's human ears are just weak as fuck. I enjoyed the sun too, though the air wasn't quite dry enough for my taste. I would have liked to lie back, as he did, and let the sun warm my face, but I stayed curled up, my chin resting on my knees, unwilling to take my eyes off him. The wind was gentle. It tangled my hair and ruffled the grass that swayed around his motionless form. The meadow, so spectacular to me at first, paled next to his magnificence. Hesitantly, always afraid, even now he would disappear like a mirage, too beautiful to be real. Hesitantly, I reached out one finger and stroked the back of his shimmering hand where it lay within my reach. I marveled at the perfect texture, satin smooth, cool as stone. When I looked up again, his eyes were open, watching me. Butterscotch today, lighter, warmer after hunting. His quick smile turned up the corners of his flawless lips. I don't scare you, he asked playfully, but I could hear the real curiosity in his soft voice. No more than usual. Honey, this is all so many red flags. Red flags! Ah! Oh, but guys, you don't realize this, but guess what's at the back of this book? The book that never was, because E.L. James beat you to it. I'm actually going to read, hang on, I want to read the part where Edward actually meets Bella for the first time. Here we go. Oh my God, are you ready? Are you guys ready? Okay, here we go. This is Edward's perspective in Midnight Sun when Bella first walks into the classroom. Bella Swan walked into the flow of the heated air that blew toward me from the vent. Her scent hit me like a wrecking ball, like a battering ram. There was no image violent enough to encapsulate the force of what happened to me in that moment. In that instant, I was nothing close to the human I'd once been. No trace of the shreds of humanity I'd managed to cloak myself in remained. I was a predator. She was my prey. There was nothing else in the whole world but that truth. There was no room full of witnesses. They were already collateral damage in my head. The mystery of her thoughts was forgotten. Her thoughts meant nothing, for she would not go on thinking them much longer. I was a vampire, and she had the sweetest blood I'd smelled in 80 years. I'm done. Anyway, so to conclude this video, I think that We just need to say that everything I've read today is just pure gold. They were glorious pieces of writing, and you know what? I would love to thank Stephenie Meyer right now for giving us these amazing characters upon which people created just amazing work from. And you know, honey, I think you need to write Midnight Sun. You need to give us that. Like, we need that gift in our life. We need Edward's perspective. Like, I don't want like, you know, Christian Grey. I want Edward Cullen. That's what I want in my life. I need that shit. So thank you so much for persevering through this video. I am sure you are just as tortured as I am. I think I'm going to go and take a shower and probably just cry myself to sleep, because I don't know what just happened. I don't know why I did that to myself. That was just an experience. Yeah, so I will see you guys next time if I've recovered from this, and have a great rest of the day. Bye.